Hello, ladies and gents, boys and girls. Welcome to Tales with TR. I'm your host, Terry Ryan Jr., fresh off Oasis Live in Toronto with some of my good buddies. Some of my best buddies in the world. Actually, been waiting for this for a while. Yes, I am an Oasis fan. No, I haven't seen them. I had a chance a couple of times and kind of regret not doing it in the late 90s. And then they split for so long. So this was a great time. If you're wondering about going to see a concert in Rogers Stadium, I know they had Coldplay and Oasis. I don't think there's any more planned this year. It's a huge venue. It's like 50 or 60,000, not seats, but capacity. I don't know, 40,000 seats. Out kind of on its own. I mean, I liked it. A lot of people listen to this haven't been to Toronto. If you have, there's an area called Budweiser Stage, and they have a lot of great concerts there. Speaking of Oasis, I saw Noel Gallagher there just last year. Now, you want to see Oasis together, right? It's Noel and Liam Gallagher, for those that don't know. Liam is pretty much the front man. You know, I think of Liam as the front man singing the songs. I think of Noel as playing guitar and writing songs, basically. Together, they are Oasis. And much like the Beatles, I mean, I talk about the Beatles a lot. You guys know I'm a fan. My daughter's name is Penny Lane. I got the tattoo. All of that stuff. And looking forward to the new anthology coming out on Disney Plus in a couple of months. But much like the Beatles, the sum of the parts are much, can't remember that saying. I guess the saying, I just looked it up, the team is better than the sum of its parts. So I guess the band is better than the sum of its parts. Not that the parts aren't great, but together they're magic. And when I compared them to the Beatles, you know, after the Beatles broke up, I think each member had a moment or two of genius, if you want to use that word, but definitely extremely good music making. Let's say that. But of course, when they're the Beatles and they change the world. Well, Oasis, if you don't know, I won't beat a dead horse here, but the brothers are known for mixing it up with each other. They didn't get along for the longest time. They've never seemed to get along for too long. And the last time they were in Toronto in 2007 or 8, a fan kind of attacked Noel, for lack of a better way to put it, broke 3 of his ribs against a speaker. So no one really knew how this was going to go down. They've only been together for the last couple of months. To be honest with you, I wasn't really sure if we'd even see the concert, even after they announced they were going to tour. But of course, tens of millions of concerts will probably motivate you, right? Anyway, it was a great time. And so that's it. It was a great time. Thanks to all involved. Good to see some of my old buddies again. And we'll be back up again soon with Jackson Events, doing some things for Jackson Events. Of course, we got Spittin' Chicklets fans. Want to know about the Chicklets Cup? It's coming up. And you know what we're going to do? People are asking me, what are we going to do? Look, I'm going to explain Chicklets Cup here. When Biz asked me to do that, I guess 3 years ago now, he needed some help. They added the first Chicklets Cup in Detroit, and those of you now that know Noseface Killer, him and his buddies, and they're on a world stage. I play 5-on-5 for the most part. Chicklets Cup's 3-on-3. So on the 5-on-5 side of it, you know, I've mentioned this, but I got, and most of the guys I bring, pretty much all of them have played on a world level at some point. So I'm not just bringing Newfoundlanders. These aren't just my buddies that live on my cul-de-sac. Like, guys, you know, we compete. Newfoundland, one of the only sports that we're regularly a threat to win, just because of population mostly. But, you know, but in ball hockey, we really are. Running is the great equalizer when we don't have to skate, or not that we're all bad skaters. It's you know, in ice hockey, for example, or in soccer, you know, you're going against population. It's usually going to be Ontario or Quebec, but Newfoundland, we really, really take ball hockey seriously. We train for it. We always have a good team that goes and represents the province at the Nationals. Hence, we just won the Masters a month ago, Masters being over 33. And, you know, we're strong in each division. So it's not unrealistic for me to take a team full of almost our whole team in Chicklets Cup. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just it's a quick Google search where the big deal selects. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but anyway, yeah, it's not outlandish for me to take a team with 75% Newfoundlanders and compete on a world level because we're pretty good. So I figured that when Biz called me and asked me to help, he said, "Come on in. I heard you played ball hockey and got a couple of world championships, whatever. Do you want to come in and help us out?" And I've often said, like, we just won the Nationals again, yes, but I've been playing. So the national championships, okay, just to explain, are every year, and the world championships would be every second year. So up until 2018, I played with the men's open division, any age group national team. After that, I've been playing for the Masters team. And in all that time, I've got two of each. So 2 worlds, 2 nationals. I guess that Masters would have been my third. So that's a long time. So yes, I've won them, but in all that time, so you can't really guarantee it. So I guess, yeah, so it's 25 years and then 12. So, in between 30 and 40 championships, and I won 5. So it's real hard to win. Now, that being said, I'm being objective here when I tell you this. Noseface plays for Team USA. Okay, now he's a little bit younger than me, so we didn't always come across him. But I don't remember Noseface ever beating Canada. I don't remember that happening. A guy that I have on my squad in the Big Deal Selects, Bobby Hauser, he's a little tiny bit older. And Bobby, yeah, he was on the Team USA that beat us in 2009, which led to a kind of a golden era for U.S. ball hockey. And Canada took over a decade to win again. That's the other thing. Canada's not always a guarantee at those things, right? Like it is in ice hockey. We might not make the crossover. So a lot of great teams, Italy and Portugal, for example, are teams you wouldn't think of in the ice hockey. But in ball hockey, they're pretty good. A lot of them are Canadians with dual citizenship, right? And then they go over and get a program started, and they're not bad. I think Canada's always been deeper in my point of view, but it's not a pushover. Like Italy can beat you, and Portugal, and they have. So anyway, when Biz asked me, so I got on board. And and I knew Noseface, and I'm being objective. On a world level, Noseface is pretty good. He's in the 99 of ball hockey. I don't know, like if I'd say that. I mean, I'm playing on my team with some guys that could probably make the same claim. So that's what happened. And when we joined that first year in Vegas, and we got to the final, and Noseface had a real good team. A lot of guys from the NBHL. There's a pro league in the States, and then a lot of guys off their national team. But I still don't think they were. We had Trevor Gretzky was playing goal. Nothing against Trevor. But he's a shortstop. He's a pro baseball player, so it's not like he didn't have reflexes. But we weren't using an actual goalie, and they were, and it's always something. But then the next year when we went back, I remember people seeing me get upset. The reason I was upset is because I called my buddy. James Chicky Mentis, and he was on that first world championship team with me that I won in 2003, and he's played for Newfoundland a few times, and he's from Toronto, but you're allowed so many pickups if you're province. That's the other thing that helps us, right? We're allowed pickups, and we've taken advantage of those over the years. And Chicky was one of the best players ever. And even though I think we used him when he was in his late 40s, he was still really advantageous. We've used Paulo Musto. We've used a lot of guys like that. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. But that's why I was pissed, because I called Chicky and I said, Chicky, you put a team together and I'll put a team together. And, he was using mostly Brent and Midnight Express guys from the National, a lot of guys on Team Canada. And so was I. I was using most of my Newfoundland Black Horse buddies, some of which have been on Team Canada. And we've all played as part of Team Canada, or most of us at least, in that tournament. So Noseface, his team bailed, and he said he couldn't make it that second time. And then the last day, and he just had a kid. He had legit reason. It wasn't bullshit. And so the last day when he joined Chicky's team, which was essentially the Brampton Midnight Express, who he he didn't plan on playing with them. I know them more than half of them have been my teammates, including Chicky, the coach. So I just thought that was a little greasy. That's all. That's why I was upset. I don't even think I would have been upset if Biz and them just explained that, but they never really explained it. So it's not like, and they said, oh, you guys still can't beat No Space. I don't know about that. He didn't have his team. It wasn't his team. It was the team that we assembled, right? The two teams that met in the final, like I said, I called Chicky and let's put a team together and one of us is going to beat No Space because we knew how good Canadian ball hockey was. Not that US sucks, but we usually come out on top. In my experience, that's the only time we ever lost to them. And the last couple of world championships being just last year and 3 years ago, right? It's every second year. I hope I'm not confusing anybody. But No Space was pretty good. Look up the stats. The last Worlds, they got bronze. Canada won, got gold. Guy on our team, Josh Anderson, scored the winner. And No Space had a goal and 3 assists in 7 games. Pretty good, right? Not bad. He's not a bad player. And in the NBHL, he's had some extremely, we don't play in that. It's coming to Canada. Looking forward to it. And I'm sure Newfoundland will throw in a decent squad. But he's, I don't know if I'd say he's a superstar, great player at the Worlds, but he's reliable and a great player. Yeah, great player. And they're not, Canada won in overtime in the final. I think it was against Czech. I could be wrong. So, and US got bronze. Like I said, we're right there. But the 99 of ball hockey, I don't know. Don't know if I'm going there. But yeah. So anyway, then the next year happened, I guess, which would have been last year. And neither one of us made the final. And the team that beat us in the semi, that was the same thing. Ian Downs and a bunch more guys from the Canada program. He was a teammate of mine just a couple of years ago at the World Championships in Boston or in Buffalo. The team that beat us and the rest of them, all guys that we've come across in the Nationals, one point or the other with the Ottawa Godfathers. Actually, yeah, there's a few of those guys there. So anyway, these are teams that we just continually play against. And so No Space lost in one semi and we lost in the other to guys that we all play with in the summer. So, for me, I think that we improved the level of play at the Chicklets Cup, but it ain't no gimme. I'm telling you, it's for No Space or for us, it's not a gimme. Any of these teams can win. I think the great equalizer in this one, when it comes from 5-3, right? Because I'm used to playing the 5-on-5. I've played the Worlds a couple times, 3-on-3. It's a different game, but it should transfer over, right? You should still, it's ice hockey. If you had the best 3-on-3 tournament in the world, they'd all be in the NHL, likely. The odd guy probably from a European elite league, but most of them would be NHLers. So yeah, so the 5-on-5 guys are, real good, if not the best at this. And then most of the players at the tournament, that's the way it lies. But we've been playing on pavement wherever. And now I think we're going to have the sport court. So I think that might favor the teams that have a little bit more skill, which is all right, because I'm confident that we do. But yeah, at this point, it's a fantastic tourney. It's anybody's game. And I want to make it clear. I have all the respect in the world for No Space. That was really my only beef, was that 1 year. That was my only beef, is that he joined a team that we kind of made sure went there. And I'm not going to say assembled. I said that earlier, but I called Chicky with a goal, right? And 3 guys on that team that I'd played with, including one I slashed in the final pretty bad. Jordan Crocker. Yeah, God. He's only young too, but anyway. So I was kind of upset at myself for that. I didn't mean to hurt Jordan. But anyway, that was it. But I got the utmost respect for No Space and, and all of his teammates. I think the tournament is going to be on fire in Boston. I think it's anybody's guy. They're making a big deal about what's Yandel's team, the Boston Danglers. And us, the Big Deal Selects. But I'm telling you, there's going to be some lights out teams there. There really are. And now I'm texting with my buddy Brad Brown because he's coming on the show. There you go. So that's who I'm going to have. Brownie wants to come on. I love having Brad on. So Brad's one of my best friends in the world. And I never really got to talk to him very much No, I don't want to say that. We lost touch. I mean, he was in my wedding party the first time. Long story. And we were roommates and we were really good friends. And outside of the odd text, I didn't speak to him much. That's the thing. You rely on text and shit, right? You forget how much you do that. And when it's nice to hear somebody's voice. So I have him on here. I'm sure most of you listen. And okay, Brownie, I'm just recording episode the episode before you. I'm just doing you a nice little intro at the end of my podcast. Can you text me over the email you want me to send you the invite to? And anyway, so Brownie and I mean, we went through a lot together. He was the first round pick of the Canadiens the year before me. And oh God, there's so much. And it just seemed like we were buried for one reason or another. I mean, I had a lot of I can see how someone who was in my position, first round pick, and he was knocking on the door, waiting to get in, called up to Montreal, younger than everybody, felt a little odd in the room at times. And, I had him, but he was with me because he was a first round pick the year before. And we had Matt Higgins. Not that everybody had to be a first rounder. We had all kinds of friends that weren't first rounders. I just mean that when you can absorb that together and you're all going through it together, it really, really meant a lot. And we did a lot of things. We hung out before the cell phone, and I love my video games, man. I really do. And I play them all the time, and my buddies and I get on it. But I wouldn't have, I don't think, realized or had so many great experiences with friends had it been available back then. You're a product of your environment, I guess. So I'm not saying today's generation is any better or any worse. People always like to make that judgment. There's all kinds of reasons, I guess you could say, for both. There's all kinds of arguments for both. I mean, I like video games, like I said. I use my cell phone, right? I'm on Instagram and all the things that I say, old man yelling at the clouds, all things I might criticize from this generation. I mean, we're all kind of the same era, maybe not the same generation, the same era. I use it all. I just mean without a lot of these options, you were forced to be a little bit more social, and I couldn't have been any more social and friendly with some of my best friends back then, and Brad Brown's one of them. Speaking of that, let's get to Brownie. So if you're listening to this episode now, well, Brad Brown Volume 2 is coming. If you're downtown St. John's, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you want to go somewhere, you want to have a beer, you want to have a water, you want to have a Diet Coke, you want to chill out, you want to take in the afternoon, where better to do it than Trinity Pub, TJ's Pub, Rob Roy Confusion, Martini Bar. Greensleeves, of course, the Bull and Barrel. You're going to have a bite to eat? Look at the loose tie. Why not Blue on Water? Why not Wedgwood Cafe? On Elizabeth Avenue, you also do catering. If you're going to work out, strength, balance, body, mind. Ride Power Conditioning. Carpet Factory lays the groundwork, lays the carpet for your community. GS Construction lays the groundwork for your community. They're out in Edmonton, Alberta. Mr. Lube, Camount Road, Torbay Road. Live, Laugh, Lube. True Hockey, take what's yours. That's it. I'll be back real soon with Brad Brown, Volume 2. Here we go. Thanks for listening. Catch you guys.